Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, 23 Flavors of Stitching. My name is Kirsten and today is going to be a Flosstube update. Hello! It's been a while. It's been a little bit longer than I was anticipating because I was going to film my progress from the last few rounds of my bracket up to whatever one, and the last day of polls I hurt my finger. It sounds really lame, but I hurt my finger so much so that I wasn't even able to I could do it, it just hurt really bad to pull my needle out, or in and out of my fabric, and so I haven't stitched. The last day I stitched was the 18th, and I just decided to try stitching a little bit, but my finger was still hurting, so the last day that I stitched was the 18th. And so I figured maybe, since we've been through my first 8 projects, we could go through what my next projects were. And then I can tell you some plans. And that is all that I have in my mind for this video, because this is an impromptu video. So, grab my basket of projects. Pause. One of my projects is not here. Okay, I grabbed it. So, first off, I just want to say that my last 2 projects for this were not projects that I would have picked at all. They were projects that my husband put on my bracket, and they were projects that I hadn't touched in over a year, I want to say. And I just was really having a hard time finding the motivation to work on these projects, even within the bracket. So that's why this bracket was kind of hard for me this year, not gonna lie. My blanket decided to come with me. I was super excited about my new starts. I had such a hard time picking my new starts because I wanted to start everything, and I had a little bit of the same problem with my whips, where I was like, okay, there are so many whips that I want to work on, but I need to pare it down. And so when I asked my husband to come in and pick some, I was not expecting him to pick the ones that he did, except for one of them. And when he picked some of them, even when he said the name or wrote down the name on my iPad, I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, we will start with the project that went on to the semifinals, but did not make it to the finals, and that is my mini Enchanted Christmas Reindeer. For those of you who have not watched me before or do not remember what this chart is going to look like, this is what it will look like when it is all done. It is by Donna Gelsinger. Well, the artwork is by Donna Gelsinger, and it was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I'm stitching it on 25 count pewter Lugana. I'm using the called for DMC, and this is where I'm at. So overall, I got some really good progress on this one. I do have it written down somewhere. Okay, so the first day that I worked on this for March Madness was the 5th, and I got 99 stitches in it. And then the next day that I worked on it for March Madness was the 11th, and I got 141 stitches. So currently I am at 8.02%, and my goal for this chart for the year is to get to 10%. So we're getting closer. Okay. Next up from the bracket was, we will go with the runner-up. The runner-up was, that's gross, Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street Samplers. This was downstairs by my dogs. So there's hair all over this bag, which is kind of grossing me out. Okay. Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street Samplers. I have seen this chart done by so many people, and I think it is absolutely beautiful. But for some reason, I have had the hardest time finding motivation to work on it. So I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for March Madness for having me pull it out, because I would not have pulled it out otherwise, I don't think. Here is where we got to. When I started March Madness, all I had was this section of the roof, this part of the wall done. And so when I started March Madness, I did this little motif thing here. I did the star, I did the paneling, and I did this little top of a pumpkin, I think. Yeah, this is the top of a pumpkin. So I did get quite a bit done. I am doing mostly the DMC conversion. When I kitted this up, I didn't know very much about overdyed floss, and I also didn't have the money to go buy all of the Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works. So I'm doing mostly the DMC conversion. I do have 2 of the Weeks Dye Works that were called for, so I'm using those. And then there's 1 anchor floss that I'm using instead of DMC, just because I couldn't find the DMC when I needed it. So yeah, and I'm stitching it on 16 count Country French Cafe Mocha. It's a really nice neutral. So yeah, that is where we are at. And while I'm here, I will take it out of the hoop, because I honestly have no idea when this is going to get brought out again. I am in a full coverage mode, which is kind of weird because I'm in a finish things mode, but I'm also in a full coverage mode. And so I'm trying to kind of balance it, I guess. So like I have my goals that I'm trying to hit for this year, and I have my my challenges that I'm doing, and so I'm trying to do all those things while also not having very much stitchy time. Okay, and last but certainly not least, because it won my bracket, is the Moonshine Cabin, which is by Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery, and it was a collaboration between Modern Folk Embroidery, Evertoe, and Roxy Floss Co. And this is what it will look like when it's done. It's absolutely beautiful. I am stitching it on 16 count Midnight Gray Ada. And I'm using the called for Roxy Floss. So, this is where I got to. It's beautiful. I am also just now realizing that the picture I posted of it on Instagram as like my here's my final from March Madness is not accurate, but that's okay. There it is. I do not have it recorded what I stitched on it the last time I worked on it, but on March 7th, I got a total of I don't know. I got some good progress on it. In total, since I have worked on it this year, I have gotten 547 stitches completed in it. And my goal for this one is to finish the cabin. And I am, because the cabin is full coverage, I have an Epic Journey slotted for it. And it is 1,046 stitches. And so, yeah, halfway there. Awesome. So yeah, that's it. There's my dogs. Sorry, if I don't fix this now, it's gonna knot up, and we don't want that to happen. All right, so don't know when this will be brought out again. So we'll take it out of the hoop. So I have some plans. Like I mentioned, I am on a full coverage kick, and part of that kick is that I am going to have a full coverage new start for Easter, and I'm deciding if I'm going to do it before Easter or Easter weekend. Or on Easter. That's what I'm trying to decide. It is from Charting Creations. And it is Be Still My Soul. The artwork is by Mark Missman. And that's what it looks like. Absolutely beautiful. I am in love with it, and I thought, what is a better way? I currently don't have a religious stitch. The last one that I had was the His Name is Jesus that I did for my mother-in-law. So I thought that might be fun to do. I do have a couple of smaller options in my stash that could also be a possibility. could also be a possibility, but right now I am really feeling the call to this one. So that's my plan. I already have fabric for it. I'm going to stitch on 25 count Monaco, and I'm going to stitch 1/1, I think. Possibly 2/1 tent. We'll see. Probably tent stitch because I would like to finish a full coverage in my lifetime. So yeah, that's my plans. And then the last thing that I have to show you, hold on just a second. I just didn't want that to be too loud taking it out of the package. The last thing that I have to show you is my April floss of the month from Roxy Floss, and I get the Brights Club. And those are the colors for April. They are beautiful. So that is it from me. Like I mentioned, I hurt my finger. It's still really sore. I have a hard time doing anything with this finger. So I've actually been coloring some file folder games for my daughter to use when she's a little bit older. And so I may just keep doing that until Easter when I want to do my start. If I am able to stitch before that, then awesome. Maybe I just will use my middle finger instead of this one. But yeah, that is all. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you did, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up and a comment, and I'll get back to you. I've really missed talking about cross stitch. I feel like I just could blabber on about it. I've been watching Young Sheldon on Netflix because my husband and I just recently finished The Big Bang Theory on our second watch of it all the way through. And so I needed something to watch that was kind of more low-key while my daughter napped. My daughter contact naps. And so that means that I'm bound to the couch if she falls asleep while we're home. So I have been putting on Young Sheldon, and if you know anything about The Big Bang Theory or Young Sheldon or anything in that vein, then you know that Sheldon will just like spew facts that aren't necessarily fun facts, but he says, fun fact, did you know that, and then just like spews the information to anyone that's around to listen. And in Young Sheldon, I believe it was in season 3. I don't think it was in season 4 yet. His Meemaw was kind of like trying to show him how annoying it can be when someone is just like telling you all of these random facts all the time that you don't necessarily want to hear. And so she's telling him all about knitting, and how the different ways to cast on and the different kinds of yarn and, you know, all of these things. And Sheldon is just loving it. But she's trying to like show him why it's annoying to have someone do that all the time. Anyway, so sometimes I feel like that's me with my husband or with anyone else who does not care about cross stitch or anything. Anyway, that's enough of a ramble. Let me know what you've been watching. Maybe there's a TV show that I need to try for while my daughter sleeps. Yeah, that's it. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you remember that someone always needs you, and I'll see you next time.